Yeah, Grimm was on the streets talking to voters. 9 out of 10 endorsed seats. What's the one they lost, dudes? I'm like surprised. Hey, this guy. Yo, I was just saying, you're gonna come in, and I'm gonna feel like a dum-dum. I thought I was gonna have more
there
time.
We go.
I thought I would be able to fucking do it, you know, like... After dinner, I took Eamon to Walgreens, and I came back, and I thought I'd have time, but I, like, opened Twitter, and I was like, oh, shit, they're calling it already. Damn. That's just, like... I was gonna bet on New Zealand the other day, and then I didn't. And I was like, oh, thank God I didn't. And then today, like, the opposite happened. Conrad Blackburn from Harlem's District 70 Assemblyman. Yeah, I know, man. She was good money even this morning. It's not Dukes' fault. Dynastic family politician. Yeah, I mean... Those are the only ones, I think, people went to the fucking polling place knowing who to vote for. They had their slate in front of them or whatever. That must have just been one guy who, like, had, you know, had a machine going and people recognized their name. It looks like Utah's an L, though, huh? I would drink 12 Bud Lights right now. Yeah. Dude, they're gonna be so fucking... Dude, they're gonna be so fucking mean to her. It's like twice though. Dude, New York City DSA, I feel like is the thing that needs to be praised here. You know, there's been progressive challengers all over the country, but I guess Working Families Party too. But like, telling you, man, fucking good. Do-gooders with a grind set do-gooders. It's a fucking great org. I mean, I didn't really see too many meltdowns yet. I think they were probably still in denial when I logged off. Fuck Kamala
wait
Harris.
for a couple of people to pop in here.
I mean,
and
look,
plume of...
I've been defending DSA. My Twitter profile says join DSA in it, and I've caught a lot of shit for that. I've had to defend them frequently. And I'm, you know, will continue doing so. These ultras that are going after DSA. Yeah, seriously. Dude, my back.
Prometheus is here, so I can start.
Who's Prometheus?
Huge news tonight in New York
a
City.
Shirt and an air conditioner?
There were 3 major primaries.
Doesn't he live in LA? Because the entire time I lived in LA, I didn't have a heater or an air conditioner, and it was fine.
Where Zohran Mamdani endorsed, where DSA...
Dude, I want to hear what he says about AOC. What the fuck, AOC?
Endorsed.
Write-in Republicans?
I'm talking
well, I mean,
the 7th...
As you'll see in the title... Meanwhile, in Latin America, right? I mean, I don't know. What does that tell you? That, like, our elections are a lot more secure than we thought, but that doesn't go the same for, you know, the rest of the world? Like, if they could have stolen these elections, they would have.
Democratic District of New York, where Claire Valdez... was going up against Antonio Reynoso.
So
this, of course, was an open seat. Reynoso was endorsed by Velasquez, who was the congressman who retired. And there was a sense this was going to be a very tight race. No.
No.
We're talking about the Brooklyn Borough president. He was a solid
did 4 years on the LSC.
But
now I need
Claire
to step my game
Valdez
up.
came in.
I'm gonna run for fucking alderman.
was more aggressive on all the issues, was DSA endorsed, Mamdani endorsed, and with 93% of the votes in, she's been declared the winner, 56% to 36%. That's a huge win. In the 10th Democratic primary, you had...
Dude, if I was in charge, I would make everybody take mushrooms like at least once a year.
Dan Goldman.
Yeah, dude, Dan Goldman, eat shit,
really
Goldman.
Only in there because he won 2 years ago when Uline New and Maya Wiley and Mondaire Jones split the vote. But Brad Lander beat Dan Goldman with 91% of the votes in by 30 points. An absolute slaughter.
Wow.
But the real, I mean, frankly, shocker. And CNN just called this. I'm looking on the New York Times. They have not called it, but CNN did. With 86% of the vote in, Darisa Vila Shovalier has beat Adriano Espiat.
Yeah, that fucking coffee thing. No, like it wasn't even that they didn't serve them. They served them, and then they were like, I guess they were checking the tape later on in the day, and they saw that he was there, and they were like, "Fuck you! Here's your money back. Don't come here again." And he's been crying about it ever since.
9.3% to 46%. That is a huge, huge upset.
Yeah, dude.
Espiat was the...
like, if we have volunteers, no amount of money can defeat the door knocking. Because if you see ads for somebody, and they're like, oh, this guy sounds pretty good, and then someone knocks on your door, and they're like... Because the same thing happened to me. Like, the state senate, or the state rep, like, the incumbent who had been appointed, which I didn't really think about a whole lot at the time, but... in retrospect, it made sense. How did she get appointed to the seat? Somebody was retiring, or somebody, I forget what happened. Somebody won another office. You know, it was, what was that lady's name? The red-haired, whatever. She lost already, but I think it was her seat. Somebody appointed this lady to finish it. And then the challenger knocked on my door and was like, explained all this to me, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So, like, if you knock on somebody's door, I think there's a good chance you will be able to convince them, right? But failing the knock on the door, you know, a lot of people are just going to go with the name that sounds familiar, the flyers they saw. Yeah, right?
Chair of the Hispanic Caucus and refused to reject AIPAC money.
That's what I keep saying.
And she has gone
man.
down.
Like,
I should say he has gone down.
I've been saying this for 5 years. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have if you have the right takes, right? Like, as long as it's not a name recognition problem, right? And you have the correct positions on the issues people care about, the other guy can have millions and millions of dollars and it won't matter.
To Darisa Vila, that race, we were talking about it today. It got
AIPAC
very,
money
very
is
messy.
a poison chalice.
A little racist-y in many ways. This is a major, major upset. Just the fact
and he's asleep already?
that this is happening.
I thought that was like
literally
speed.
a couple
Yeah, that's like new
subway stops
new Ritalin.
away from Hakeem Jeffries' district. A couple of subway stops away from Chuck Schumer's house. Remember, Zohran Mamdani, I don't know if he was ever endorsed by Chuck Schumer. He was endorsed very late by Hakeem Jeffries. And
Steve Reynoso,
his political machine, via the DSA,
Reynoso was a popular borough president with reformist credentials, and he was backed by the beloved outgoing congresswoman. It just meant nothing in the face of Zohran and the DSA endorsement. Huge, huge show of strength for them.
taken out two incumbents and essentially won in a 20-point landslide.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of negative stuff to say. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. But when you prove them wrong, you really don't have to say shit to them. There's a lot of people that have a lot of negative stuff.
Yeah, you don't. You don't even have to. You don't even have to say anything.
In a third district where the retiring incumbent had endorsed
Synthetic
somebody else.
meth. Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're going to go through the implications of this tomorrow. But Chuck Schumer right now is on his computer picking out retirement homes in Florida.
Maybe not.
Maybe
He's
not in
fucking
Florida,
seen how
or
much
maybe
Black
stays in New
Cube's
York
going to
City, I don't
cost
know,
for
but
the next election.
this is an incredible show.
Black
of strength.
Cube, can you be here
This
by
was
November?
Many people of the commentariat said a dangerous move by Mamdani. It's a DSA sweep literally in the backyard of the Democratic leadership. 2 incumbents down.
An energy pill?
A third person part of the Democratic machine in New York, and they're gone. You're going to hear a lot of the establishment say this is not something you can do outside of New York City, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
Isn't that dude
though
just
you've seen
winning
the
Maine?
DSA win in DC
Philly?
and other places, this is a clear repudiation of the Democratic establishment, and that's going to carry across the country. I don't know what else to tell you. What's my prediction? DSA is swept. That's done.
If you have a good DSA
12th district,
chapter,
you saw AI money attack Alex Boris. He looks like he's unlikely to pull it off. Down 4%.
oh no.
I didn't have
He had
a
a
favorite
mixed
per
track
se in
record.
that district, although had I lived there, I probably would have voted for Boris. It's just a massive win for the DSA.
He said that though.
You've got an incredibly popular mayor who the entire Democratic establishment had bet against. And 6 months after winning an incredibly improbable mayoral race in New York City, has gone on to extend the power of the DSA. And the knock-on effects of this, like I say, are going to sweep across the country. It is going to create space for many, many Democrats
AOC.
to run to the left. It is going to create a narrative that the Democratic base is tired of
This
their
one
leadership.
should be red.
I don't know what else to say about that.
What was Ramos running for?
I'm no Tron. Sam, someone asked this already, but what do you think of the sort of self-fulfilling prophecy regarding Newsom's supposed inevitable selection of the 2028 candidate? We'll have plenty of time to talk about that, but I just don't think so. Again, CNN, NBC, probably more by now, have called it for Darisa Vila. That was the race that we thought was going to be the tightest. But I'm still, frankly, shocked at the
These should be green too.
results in New York 7th,
She did?
where Valdez won. She's up 20 points with
Who's this?
93% of the votes in.
Who's Jessica Rojas?
Really shocking. And you're going to
AOC
see the
strength.
Republicans, again, try and demonize Zohran Mamdani. But as I said, I think actually that night I was on CNN where he went down to visit Donald Trump, which many people said, this is a mistake. Why is he doing this? He completely neutralized in that meeting the ability of Republicans to demonize Mamdani and, frankly, the DSA. And maybe there wasn't much room to demonize anymore. We talked about this today with Rick Perlstein on the show.
What's up, AOC?
We are so far out from the fall of the Berlin Wall.
I
in
guess she doesn't want to
1993.
endorse in Congress? What the fuck?
generations have now grown up
Ramos
without the
had beef
specter
with AOC.
of mutual nuclear destruction
He
between
endorsed
the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And that type of
Yeah, I remember Ramos
demonization
from the mayor
and
election.
scaremongering just doesn't work.
Very
Like I'm watching
self-centered, like
Abby
Crockett.
Phillips'
Yeah, I
panel with the
remember
two
her.
Republicans on there, and they just look so anemic. Neera Tanden is on there. She wants to talk about the election in New York 17th against Mike Lawler because a more moderate of two candidates won, I guess. To be honest, wasn't following that.
He
The
turned
big
down the
races were in New
song
York
last
City, and everybody
second.
knows.
Really?
And anybody who says that's not the case, all you got to do is go back into what their Twitter feed was a week ago or 2 days ago, and you'll see they were
Look at that
characterizing this in a
green.
very, very different
Holy shit.
way. This was just a huge, huge win for the DSA. And again, the knock-on impacts are going to happen across the country. It's going to change the way many Democrats run. Chuck Schumer is a dead man walking in terms of his Senate run in 2028. And this will have implications when Chuck Schumer goes to the new Senate Democratic caucus, particularly if the Democrats take the Senate. And he's going to say to them, I'm going to retire, but let me stay the leader for these
Yeah, I'm addicted
next
to,
2
like,
years.
dozen
And it's going to be a much
different
harder
things.
case
Cool.
because every single Democrat in the know now knows that Chuck Schumer cannot win re-election in 2028.
I don't know if you know that.
My friends, I know many of you have been canvassing for months. And at those canvasses, at those fundraisers, at those events, when we introduce our
Why didn't you
candidates,
just fall asleep?
we use a language of hope. We say the next assembly member, the next state senator, the next congressperson. Tonight we use a language of fact. So please join me in welcoming up to the stage Assemblywoman Diana Moreno,
Who's next?
Assemblymember David Orkin, Assemblywoman Samantha Catan,
Yeah, like
State Senator
that guy at the Waffle
Amir
House.
Kawaz, and the one, the only, Congresswoman Claire Valdez. Now, Claire was. Now you're gonna hear from every one of these incredible candidates.
What were they chanting?
But before I leave, I just wanted to share a few words with all of you. Which is first and foremost, this is your
Oh
victory.
man, we're getting W's now. We're getting W's now.
What you all have shown this evening, whether for state assembly, state senate, or Congress, is that a year ago, it was not the end of a political movement. It was the beginning. And I want to thank you because in this room, I see those who believe no matter what tweet they read from Michael Lang. They believed. They put that anxiety into shifts.
Excellent.
Ripping off the fucking kids while they be paying their hard-earned money to read about the bands they want to know about, printing lies, starting controversy. You want to antagonize me?
You just want to know about the bands they want to know about?
They put it into door knocks, into phone calls. Raise your hand if you canvass. Those are the hands that won this race, and every single one of these is never canvassed. They are going to be the partners in transforming the most expensive city in the United States of America into one that working New Yorkers can afford. So one more time, let's hear it for Deanna Moreno. Let's hear it for David Organ. Let's hear it for Samantha Gatan. Let's hear it for Abir Kawas. Let's hear it for Claire Valdez. And let's hear it for a politics that will never forget working people. For a politics that is ready to write a new chapter in our party's history. And for a politics that realizes the old politics that got us to this crisis is not the politics that's going to get us out of this crisis. It's time for working people to be back at the heart of our politics. These are the champions who will do it. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Right? Like, they had DSA.
Socialists of America!
White leftist kid screaming at 3 to 4 old unks surrounding one of the establishment dens. Yeah, I saw that. He's saying DSA. Meghan McCain.
All right, this is a Fox News alert. Incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman, who was just banned from a New York City coffee shop because of his support for Israel. He has now lost his primary to a radical socialist backed by Mamdani. It appears that, a pretty scary transformation is now fully underway in the Democratic Party, especially in a blue state like New York. All right, this is a Fox News alert. Incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman, who
Damn, dude. That sucks, dude. Yeah, I saw this clip.
Anyway, it's, yeah.
Is he just following him around?
I am surprised he's got this much energy to, we're now in 15 minutes of.
I met him in New Jersey. I knew the kid was a legend when I met him back then.
Yeah, who's that kid?
I told Espaillat, I said, just from a practical.
And do people have a choice?
You guys would have just said, look, I denounce Israel's genocide and I'm not taking any AIPAC money. A few months ago, even. The race is over. She has no entry. He kind of shrugged. He's like, maybe. His aide said, yeah, but then they'd find something else, which is what Reynoso said. They'll find something else. But it's not a something else. The issue of genocide is not just a random thing that people are like looking for to like drive a wedge. It really is something that stands in for whether or not you're a person worth supporting on anything else. So.
Yeah.
The genocide, your support for the genocide in Gaza.
Yeah.
Any day.
That's all you gotta do, though. The kid's right.
Any day you can stop taking over $600,000 of AIPAC money put through pass-throughs. You know how shameful this is. That's why you directed your super PAC to use false names, because AIPAC is toxic in this district, because this district does not support genocide. And
Yeah,
you
kid.
stop supporting
Get his ass.
genocide. You know the politics. You know the reality. You know that AIPAC money is toxic. You can't even run it as UDP, which is already a bullshit name.
Yo.
You can condemn genocide
Yo.
any day.
Yo,
And
who's
the
this
name
kid?
support is
Does he work for you, Grim? Does China pay him?
no reason, neither political nor moral.
Who's paying this kid?
There's no reason whatsoever.
This is a Jose Vega employee.
Guy's a professional heckler.
He's a professional.
That's all he is, man.
Yeah, that's all he is, man.
He got his game. That's his
What do you
game.
mean, dude?
That's his game.
You're not listening to a thing he said?
Yeah, that's a game. That's what he does. That's his life. That's what he does.
Yeah, he's passionate about killing babies, man. Stop killing fucking children for 5 minutes.
You're doing something big for journalism. You're somebody to look up to, man.
Appreciate that, brother.
Shut up, dude. Go away,
That's
nerd.
his job. That's
Leave
what
Grim
he's
alone.
paid to do.
The craziest thing, I think he's doing this for free.
No, he ain't doing it for free. No. Ain't nothing for free. This ain't free, brother. This is a certified dude that's getting paid. He's on somebody's payroll.
So my theory that I told to Adriano is that if like 6 months ago he'd have said, I condemn Israel's genocide and I'm not taking AIPAC money, that Daria Lisa would have no entry, no way to get in.
If long as those southern guys down in Texas and other places wasn't giving her money,
Who's giving her money?
They wouldn't give her money then. If
No, you want him to go in a fight with a nail clipper and she's got a blade.
Well, she wouldn't have the blade, is my point.
No, they're going to
If
give
he was-
this.
Right,
This
right.
ain't about him. This is about making sure that there will never be a black state. That's what this is about.
Yeah, okay, dude.
That's what this is about. This is about certified racism. That's what this is about. Keep him out. We don't want a black as a speaker.
Well, Hakeem's going to be speaker.
No, not if this fool here keeps going.
Yeah, no, man.
That's
Go
what
on.
this is all about. That's what this is all
I
about.
mean, either way, a Democrat's going to win the seat.
She said she ain't voting for her kid.
I see.
Come
Oh,
on,
I see.
man.
I see your point.
Yeah.
I see your point.
This guy know what he's doing. He's a professional heckler. That's all he is. Well,
Dude,
well,
is that his
you can stop
campaign
the
manager? Who's
genocide,
this guy?
Bomb Israel.
How long have you known Adriano?
Many, many years.
How'd you meet him? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Doing
Something corrupt.
fighting for peace.
Doing something corrupt, man. Come on.
No, I ain't got to do that. My story don't count. His story counts. He's the story. He's the story.
Better used on healthcare and education here, Congressman. It's disgusting, Congressman. Millions of dollars for bombs to Israel. Israel
If he
itself.
was saying that to Gillibrand, he don't say nothing to
Hey, I
them.
don't know about individually, but all the people who I know who are like the Palestine activists, I mean,
They have not gone.
they're pretty consistent.
He goes up there and do that to Schumer? No.
I don't think.
No, I don't think. You can't.
They don't want a black speaker. Hakeem ain't black enough.
I think his outrage is not like. I think it's based on moral principles. I don't
Oh,
think he's.
what moral principle?
That's
Has he
what-
said anything to Schumer? Has he said anything to Gillibrand?
I bet
Ain't no
He's just
betting.
mad that they're like fucking.
I don't need to ask him. I don't play with kids. I don't play with kids, okay? I don't play with kids. Hey, I don't talk to that guy. He's not real. He ain't real. He's not real. He's a heckler. He ain't real. He ain't real, man. He got his show. He's a show. God, you're a show.
Yeah,
Stop it.
exactly.
Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. They'll do it to whoever. It's really simple. Like they're saying the same thing. Who's paying them?
It's disgusting to take money from the genocide law.
Yeah, who's paying them?
You're a hustler.
Who? like
I
they're
don't know if you could
calling
hear the
out,
point
like
that he
they're
was making. He
saying
was like, he's like, I feel like you are.
like they're like you're taking this specific amount of money from these specific lobbyists, and he's like, oh man, you fake, you fake. Come on, dude. Like, oh, he just doesn't want a black speaker. Like, I. It's hard to say what's going on with this guy. He's kind of like James Carville. I don't know. James Carville, I feel like is a little better, but like, um, is he this thick? Does he really think this, or is this just his character, like his persona that he's? This is just what he does when he's working on the campaign trail. He just is like a fucking race hustler or whatever, you know? Yeah, this is exactly. This is like the Al Sharpton thing, right? Um, fucking. Mm. Like they specifically like went out of their way to make race an issue in this race, and it really shouldn't have been. It's really gross the way that's manifested, right? Which is like completely just they thought that was a good strategy for them. Like that's what they turned to in the last couple weeks to be like, oh no, she's Asian. Like fuck you, man. Like why would you do that? Why would you think that'd be effective in a Democratic primary? Like, and they can't even do it like it's not like they can't even do it in like a way that might be effective, right? Um, like they can't do it in like a woker, like Elizabeth Warren style, right? Like they didn't do that. It wasn't like black maternity rates, you know, like it wasn't that style. They can't. So it's like it was more like Trump. It was like, oh, we're gonna do Fetterman on her. Yeah, that'll win. That'll win in fucking Harlem. Yeah, people in Harlem are just dying for a Fetterman. A millionaire who funded Republicans in Texas donated to Daria Lisa. That's weird though. Why? What they think? Why? Why though? Why would they want Daria Lisa? Like, is that like an old thing? Like, it's not like they're going to put forward a Republican in November who's going to beat either of the candidates. Why would they want a progressive? I know, but like, do they just fund every challenger to an incumbent to like a committee chairman? Yeah, what if it was just like an automatic thing where they were like, oh, I'm going to fund every primary challenger to the specific congressman? An Islam pack. Oh, yeah, she's Muslim. Um, Who's calling the kid a cracker? Yeah, that's harsh. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's in fucking Harlem wants that, man. You're not going to feel it. Like, maybe if you could do some Liz Warren style thing, maybe you could have worked something, right? You could have at least hurt her. But doing this like Fetterman style racism is like really not going to help you. I mean, yo, mama takes money. But it's like everybody who walks by immediately clocks what's going on, and they see because they know the kid is right. They understand what he's saying. Obviously, right away. Yes, this guy takes money from APAC. I'm voting for the other guy. Like him being like, "No, you fucking racist," is like not going to be effective. It's just going to make people feel bad for him. Yeah, again, it's like this is what establishment Dems always do. Again, I think they usually do it in the Liz Warren style. I think is what they go to. The Hillary Clinton, Liz Warren, like that style where they accuse socialists as like not being fucking, you're not like as particularly invested in our culture war narratives. Oh. Mm. Mm. Oh, but it wasn't that kind. There's a couple of them too, but that apparently wasn't this guy. Like there are, a handful of eccentric rich people. Hey, dang this. 36 months. Mm. How come the alerts aren't going off? Do you hear the alert? Oh, I have it turned off. Fuck. Was it the song? Oh no, it wasn't the song. Thanks, dude.
racist because you were speaking this way to Espaillat, but you wouldn't speak this way to Schumer. Now, I think he probably would speak that way to Schumer, but I also understand why he doesn't believe that. Why he doesn't.
We've seen it for like every politician who takes
Also,
APAC
Schumer
money.
would not stand here and take it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's
Schumer
standing
would just
there.
scurry off somewhere, or you wouldn't even be able to get that close to him for very long.
Money from a billionaire who's caging
He's talking about the major donor to American priorities.
Any day of the year, you can stop supporting
The person's name, but it's a real person.
Is it like Victor Gregorian?
billionaire in Texas who's caging children. Stop taking money from a billionaire.
Wait, the billionaire's caging children?
Caging children.
Dude,
Called American Priorities.
is he in the Epstein
That is
class?
supporting Darisa.
Will you say Epstein class? You won't say that,
That
will
is
you?
mostly funded by Muslim Americans. And one of them is a Texas billionaire who has also given money to some Republicans in Texas, is my understanding.
That's tenuous as fuck.
It's a fact.
Yeah, Grimm's a referee.
Maybe chat, look up the donor's name.
Well, they probably got it right.
Yeah.
Dude, why was he standing there?
I know you're gonna get called from APAC, but
Yeah,
Now, if anything,
this is what Grimm. I
anything,
mean,
that
he's
donor is
been the
giving
one who's been
against
nailing
his own
these
class
fucking
interests
shell
and in
shell
his
packs.
kind of moral interest.
even people like me would be saying
Yeah, you-
Should we head back down?
like you know what they're mad about. They're saying the same thing over and over again for the last 2 years. Like, what else do you think is going on? Like,
Okay. All right, we'll be there later.
I think that was productive.
I guess so. Yes. So
oh really? Grimm's just doing this on stream.
Live streaming, right?
So anyway, yeah. So what I was,
Dude,
what I told
Grimm.
Espaillat and also his friends, like if you had just condemned the genocide, and also I spoke to a consultant that was going to work for Espaillat, and she told him, drop AIPAC and this race is over, and he told her no, and he told her no, and she's like, I'm not working for you.
Wow.
But just from a practical perspective,
Dude, he
and
should have
it's
gotten
probably
those
a
guys
race,
on his side. The
but he wouldn't even
fucking
have a race if he
whatchamacallit,
had
the
just
Black
done it.
Israelites.
Forget the morality. Just from a raw political perspective.
Yeah, I saw. What were they
There's a
doing?
dangerous radical in office right now. His name is Donald Trump. What do you mean? I'm not a dangerous radical. He is.
Who's that guy talking to him? He looks familiar. Who is that guy? Yeah, Mamdami Stan. Hell yeah. Brown Boy Brock, what's up? Welcome in. I mean, I kind of want to watch more Grimm. Did someone put the stream up there? I mean, look. Mamdami Moon? What? Moon? It's Mamdami Stan, dude. What are you doing? Moon? What is that? It's not a moon. It's New York City.
We are right now 132 days
Dude, this
away
guy's
from
stoked.
the first midterms of Donald
This guy
Trump's
hides his power
second term.
levels.
We're following results in these key primary races across 4 states, not just one, that are going to shape the state of the opposition party, the Democrats, in their first nationwide
Oscar
challenge
Romero.
to President Trump's power in
Look at this
November.
guy.
The results of
Yo,
tonight's elections
Oscar.
in Maryland, in South
Yo,
Carolina,
Oscar
in
is
Utah,
what caused
and
him to lose.
especially in New York, are going to have tremendous implications
hell yeah.
for what
Welcome
happens
in.
in November and beyond. It's not just about whether Democrats have the ability to snatch back control of one or both chambers of Congress. It's a referendum on the first 2 years of the president's term, a first chance for real
You
accountability.
think Grimm's an Arsenal guy?
You want to know how high the stakes are? Just ask Donald Trump. This is what he told Republicans it would mean for him if Republicans lose control of Capitol Hill.
He probably has a squad. He
You gotta win
probably
the
likes
midterms.
somebody.
Because if we don't win the midterms,
He's like a fish guy. He
It's just
definitely
gonna
likes
be-
soccer.
I mean, they'll find a reason to impeach me.
Yeah, dude. I love the Black Israelites
I'll
too.
get impeached.
Get
I'll get
impeached.
impeached.
And
In the
did
18
everything
months
right
since
and they
Donald Trump
indicted
took
me.
the reins of the federal government, he's taken this country for a ride it didn't sign up for. He's launched a war that he said he would not launch. His policies have raised the cost of living instead of lowering it, and he's weaponized a justice system that he claims was weaponized against him. As Trump fully admitted in that clip you just heard, he fears accountability. And that is precisely what this year's elections are all about. An opportunity for the American people to reclaim some amount of power to restrain Donald Trump's anti-democratic ambitions. Every single primary race between now and November will give us a better sense of how that's going to play out, which brings us back to New York. The state of New York has 26 districts, almost none of which will change hands in November, except perhaps for one. New York's 17th congressional district, which offers Democrats one of their best chances of flipping a Republican seat to Democratic this year. It's currently held by the Republican Mike Lawler.
Hands full with the
But there's another
algae
intriguing
situation.
dynamic
Yeah, he
unfolding
really
in the state
does.
that's worth keeping an eye on because it will shape the future of the Democratic Party and how it'll function as an opposition party during the second half of Donald Trump's term. And that fight is happening in the heart of New York City in 3 safe Democratic districts where the city's mayor,
race
Zohran
dropped the
Mamdani,
N-word,
has tested
really?
his influence in federal elections for the first
What did he
time
say?
just 6 months into his tenure. His chosen slate of congressional candidates is small, but they have the opportunity of shaking up the Democratic Party in a big way. Brad Lander's decisive win over Dan Goldman
fucking
in New
Michael
York 10
Blake,
tonight
dude.
makes
What
Goldman
happened to
the
him?
first Democratic incumbent.
But I mean,
to
half
be
measures
ousted so
don't work,
far
too,
this
you know,
election
like-
cycle by a true outside.
That's the thing, like, if you try to do some halfway thing, which I think is probably why Boris is going to lose too, right? Like, you need to just, like, reject corporate money and fucking influence, right? And the people will support you. But, like, if you continue to, like, stand with whatever backers, people are going to sniff it out and they'll know. You just fucking don't, triangulation doesn't work. It's a failed strategy.
Primary challenger. The only other 2 Dems who've lost in primaries were driven out by Republican gerrymandering in Texas, in which they ran against one another or one against a former incumbent. Moments ago, Goldman delivered his concession speech and offered this reminder.
Yeah, I saw that stat, 90,000 calls.
The enemy to all that we want and all that we hope for
Didn't.
is in the White House,
Yeah.
not in our own party.
Less than
That's
an
what I
hour ago,
mean.
Adriano
Like,
Espaillat, the dean of the New York Latino
Did Michael
Politics.
Blake did he not go for the endorsement? The DSA endorse? You have to, like, fill out it's a pain in the ass, right? Like, did he not even try? Because if you get TSA to endorse you, then they'll knock on doors and tell people to vote for you, right? But, like, if you are trying to be more progressive, but you're still doing, like I said, corporate influence of any sort, basically, would be enough. I think anybody can apply. You just have to, like I said, it's a hassle. You have to like write a term paper and shit. It's like fill out a questionnaire, and then like sometimes you probably would have to go, on a Zoom call or whatever. I think people like that, like I said, people who try to do this like middle path thing, they oftentimes don't bother because then it would have been also failed to get the DSA endorsement, right? That would be even worse than not even trying. I mean, that was my impression of him. I don't know. I haven't seen him on any podcast. I think he was on Brianna's show a while back. Like I said, my impression was that's what he was doing. Mm. Yeah. He didn't even run as Working Families Party. So that's what I'm saying. What are you running as? No one's going to vote for you as like, oh, I'm a Democrat like all these other Democrats. So I'm just not this particular group of Democrat. I'm a new Democrat. Like, that's not going to work,
And the head of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus became the second Democratic incumbent.
I feel
to
like
go
if that consultant had made that argument to Richie Torres, though, I feel like he might have taken that argument. Because that consultant that Grimm was just saying is right. Like, if Espaillat had fucking just turned down the corrupt AIPAC money, and it probably would have been enough, just that one PAC. I think typically you would want them to reject all corporate money, but like that alone would probably be enough to prevent a serious challenge. Mm. Yeah, well, like I said, I think this is a good model that people need to do, right? Like, I think a lot of good DSA chapters are already working on this. Like, we have some good city congressmen here. But yeah, we need to do more of this. And you see the polling too, like people fucking like DSA. DSA hasn't, been tarnished like the Democrats. People understand what it means. You're not going to be able to fearmonger, and people understand that, it's not extreme, it's not radical, it's just basic shit. And the oligarchy has gotten out of control. Yeah. Like I said, as long as we have people who are willing to make calls and knock on doors, and do good shit instead of bad shit, I think, we got a shot everywhere.
Down to defeat at the hands of an outside challenger. He lost his race to Darisa Vila Shovalier, also backed by Mamdani.
Like, that's
Meanwhile,
not that
Claire
many
Valdez's
votes.
victory in New York's
32,000?
7th congressional district gave
Like, the
Mamdani
primary is
3
where the
victories
vote
out of
is,
3 and solidified his influence in this
that's
moment
where
in
the hard
time
part.
on New York City politics.
It's like with Bernie.
Again, none of these districts will change hands. The Democrats who won in New York tonight will almost entirely
doing
become
good shit,
members
not
of
bad
Congress
shit.
for their districts. But who is driving Democratic politics?
Fox is having a shit fit.
Democratic Party politics in November has huge implications.
I thought
not
they
just
said
for
that they
Democrats,
wanted
but for the
radical
whole country.
Democrats.
Because the struggles for control.
Isn't that easier to beat? Don't they all? Isn't that what the centrists tell us too? Oh, you can't win in fucking Idaho with that.
Of Congress is not just Republican versus Democrat. It's also about progressives versus moderates, outsiders versus the establishment, and crucially, who can actually win in November. And that's what tonight's elections are going to help us unravel. So let's get to it. Joining me for the hour to unpack tonight's results, Puck contributor Abby Livingston.
Who's this?
Former New York Congressman Max Rose.
Oh,
he
the
represented
dude,
New York's
no,
11th district,
this guy.
covering all of Staten Island and parts of southern Brooklyn. Former New York Congressman Mondaire Jones. He represented New York's previous 17th district.
Yeah,
which saw
all-star panel here,
significant
bro.
changes after redistricting in 2022. And Charlotte Alter, journalist, author of the New
The one
Humanism
from the Free
Project on
Press?
Substack.
What?
Welcome to all of you. Thank
Who
you
is
for
this?
being here on such an important night. And Congressman, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you first because there are a lot of people who don't live in New York and may not care about what happened here, especially since virtually none of these districts will change hands. Only one in the entire state.
CNN, an
is
hour-long
likely to change
cope and
hands.
cry fest.
Why is this important
No.
this night?
Look, the most important outcome tonight was the Democratic primary in my old district, the 17th congressional district. Obviously, it's very different now post 2 cycles of redistricting in the past 4 years than it was at the time I represented it. Otherwise, I'd still be in Congress right now. There's a Republican in that district. And
that's Mike Lawler.
That's Mike Lawler.
And he's what you might think of these days as a moderate Republican.
He is
Moderate.
someone, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people, that a lot of folks in the
Yeah, I'm
press
sure Van
sort of
Jones
give credit to as
not
being a
happy
moderate,
about this.
despite his voting record being lockstep with Donald Trump. He has succeeded in a way few others have at convincing people of the lie that he is somehow independent of Donald Trump. But what we saw tonight in the statement that he issued after the primary election result is a challenge of Kate Conley, now the Democratic nominee, to 6 different debates following the July 4th holiday. That is not the posture of someone who is feeling confident about his prospects in the general election. He's clearly got polling showing that he is vulnerable to defeat against Kate Conley.
And we've seen that. Max
Who?
Rose, we don't describe your old district as being in play.
Dare you to do that.
But you did
motherfuckers.
represent it not that long ago. Talk to me about what this night means to you. I suspect you might be a little worried about the direction the Democratic Party took in New York tonight.
Well, we'd have a much better world if Destiny could say the N-word.
Now, I remember winning my primary in 2018 and thinking, shows like this would talk about me, and then AOC wins her primary that night too, and I'm like, no one ever heard about Max Rose that night. So we have to make sure we're talking about Kate
Rose.
Connolly
Because she
for
might be
weeks
the
and
only
months
flip.
ahead, because it's the Kate Connollys that are a pathway to Hakeem Jeffries becoming Speaker, and we should not forget that.
What are you
And
talking
Kate
about?
will not be
Who?
inviting one of the 3 Mamdani-endorsed individuals who won their primary, she will not be inviting one of them to campaign with her in her swing district. So
It's
we
her
should
fault,
always
dude.
remember those dynamics. But with that being said, though, let's also
the people on
highlight those
TV are like
individuals
all
who
Democrats
lost
who
their
lose.
races
Like,
today. No one can claim that Antonio Reynoso, Adriano Espaillat, or Dan Goldman were not leading progressives. These were not moderates by any sense of the word here. So this is something very different that's happening in the Democratic Party that's far more, I don't know if it's associated with vibes, I don't know if it's associated
Zoran
with
refused to go
Israel,
after
but
him.
someone drew a line in the sand. DSA drew a line in the sand.
Fucking
in these races
genocide,
and said,
bro.
You're not with us. And that's really what caused this.
So you are worried.
It's genocide. Super
wouldn't say that
simple.
I'm worried
Fucking,
about
why won't
the
you say it,
general
you
elections
pussy?
Because
Say
we're
it.
continuing to nominate people in swing districts that can
Yeah, I'm
and
sure it's
will
fucking
win.
popular.
That's really
You know
all
what
I
the
care
polling
about.
says? It's like 90% of Democrats,
Max
negative
says
view
that-
about
that-
Israel.
That Kate Connolly will help Hakeem Jeffries become speaker. I'm not sure, but I think all 3 of the Mamdani endorsed candidates tonight have said that's actually on the table, whether Mamdani or Schumer. Some have said they will not support either of them. Obviously, there are no Senate candidates tonight. How's this playing in Washington?
I think the most important thing to think about is that winning the House might be the easier step for Leader Jeffries. And so most party leaders build their support based on
Why do we
their
fucking
state
care if he's
delegations.
the
And to
leader?
have some
Why-
folks in
why
his
does that matter
district
to
or in his
anybody?
city who he didn't support means they don't have personal loyalty to him. So whether it's the speaker's vote or future votes, it's going to be hard for him to count votes with the margin.
Yeah,
And the
Max
reason
Rose,
is
like,
because of this
his
Republican redistricting.
fucking-
This should be
like,
a
why would
very
you
big
even
year
have
for
him on?
Democrats. But this redistricting has shrunk it.
Like,
So
he
Hakeem
lost
Jeffries
and
may have
continues
the
to
same
say the
kinds of
same
problems
thing.
that Speaker Mike
You know,
Johnson
like,
has
what-
had in getting his rebels in line on the big votes.
And later on, we're going to talk about what it will take for
Like, your shit doesn't
for
work.
Democrats
like,
to
you
win
can't
back
go
the
on
House.
TV and pretend it
Charlotte
does.
Alter, Dan Goldman made a point in his remarks, and he said the
I've
enemy
been
is not
having a
within.
good time. What's up, dude?
I happen to take the view that debates like these are healthy for a political party if you'd like to actually
Yeah, but it's
function
just the
as a political
genocide is
party
so
in a big tent.
visceral and
Some take
obvious.
a view that this is damaging to
You know,
Democrats
it's like
at a
people
time
can
that they have
fucking
to win back
argue
the
and
House.
lie about.
Listen, I think
Like,
that you can't
when it
separate
just
what
comes down to like wages and trade or whatever basic shit, they are able to lie and obfuscate. When it's this, it's so fucking easy and open and obvious, and it's such a proxy for everything bad. This makes it so much easier for people to see who's good and who's bad. You know, none of this bullshit. They know if you're taking that money, you're bad. You know, it's that simple.
happened tonight from what's been happening in New York City for the last 6 months.
Super
which
easy for
is
voters.
A kind of Mamdani honeymoon, a Mamdani moon. People in
There
this
it comes
city love Zoran Mamdani. Look at the way people poured into the streets when the Knicks won. Look at the
What does that have to
way
do
the
with
city
him?
has felt different in the last couple months since he's been mayor, at a time when the rest of the country feels like it's falling apart. So I think I agree with my co-panelists here. I know that this is going to have a huge impact on what's happening in Washington. I think it's going to, say a lot about the direction of the party. But I also want us to pause on this night and recognize that what happened tonight is related to the way that politics in New York City has changed. And that's actually a very
just that?
positive story for Democrats. It's one of the most positive stories for Democrats in the country, because people are really happy with how things are going in this city. Mamdani's approval rate is like near 80%. The vibes are good in a moment where almost everywhere else the vibes are really bad.
Can I make a caveat to that?
Yeah.
If we have time. So
Yeah,
that
AOC.
plus people still think very poorly of the Democratic Party's brand. And you had two incumbent Democratic members of Congress who are viewed to be part of the establishment, insufficiently leading on a number of issues that matter to the specific electorates in their respective districts.
Shut
and I
the
think
fuck
that did
up,
play a
loser.
role when faced with dynamic, oftentimes younger challengers, not always, oftentimes younger challengers who were speaking to the moment, if you will, of this just outrage, not just at Republicans in Washington, but at Democrats who a lot of folks perceive to not be fighting sufficiently hard enough.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back.
So
in just
I
a
mean,
moment with that.
DSA
Livingston,
is
Max
what's
Rowe,
winning
Fondaire
here.
Jones and Charlotte Alter.
People recognize their DSA is good. They're doing things frequently. And they're doing good things that people like and appreciate, It's not that's the name recognition here. That's the brand that's winning. It's the anti-genocide pro workers. You know. Can we see more Grimm? What did Kyle say?
Oh shit. Oh shit, y'all. It's happening. It's officially happening. It is Zoran Mamdani's party now, son. We just had some election results coming out of New York. And it is a clean
Kyle's
sweep
party now.
for the Democratic Socialists of America. Every Zoran-endorsed candidate just won. You got Brad Lander.
Dude, Kyle should
you
run
got
for
Daria
office.
Lisa beating Espaillat, who's been there since like fucking 1992 or some crazy ass
No one black
thing.
speaker.
Claire Valdez as well won. And look, man, it's happening. It's happening. People were thinking for sure it'd be like 2 out of 3. Not sure on the Daria Lisa race, but Daria Lisa was able to pull it off. And now, watch everybody in the party have to kiss Zoran's ass, right? We're going to see in 2028 now, even centrist Democrats in the Democratic debates are going to have to pretend like they love Zoran and they love his policies and they've always been in favor of his politics. And the winds are shifting. The tides are changing, man. It is over. It's a wrap. So me and Crystal are sitting here. We're watching CNN.
He did his own stream?
And of course, there's a unified right-wing freak out about, oh my God, they're anti-Semitic because they criticize Israel.
It ain't gonna work, man. It ain't gonna work. What
And,
up, Goblin?
They're acting like,
What's going
no,
on?
you guys are having your Tea Party moment and your extreme is getting too extreme. No, bitch. Here's the difference. Our extreme is good.
Your
Our
extreme is
extreme is
bad.
intelligent. Our extreme is getting people health care and ending wars. Your extreme is pedophilia. Your extreme is shoving people in concentration camps. Your extreme is carpet bombing a bunch of schools. Okay? So that's the difference. Us having our Tea Party moment is good. You having your Tea Party moment was bad. And so I need everybody out there who's a Democrat or a liberal or a leftist, stand 10 toes down. Don't back down from these
Kyle?
Republican ghouls acting like, oh, you're too extreme. These people are too extreme. You motherfuckers support pedophiles. How about you go to Shut the Fuck Upsville forever? How about that?
I've been saying that,
So,
right? Like,
it's just a glorious thing to see.
that's
It's
what
a
I was
beautiful-
saying, Coffin. Like, that was one of the options where that's what I'm always saying every time this argument comes around about entryism. It's like, we don't actually know, like, part of me thinks that when it gets too hard for them, they'll just fuck off to the Republican Party again, right? Like, this time of them controlling both parties was a blip, you know, like, globally, historically, like, they don't usually get to control both parties. Like, Labor generally gets to control one of the two main parties. Like, that's not, like, guaranteed to them. And if we're organized, it's not to say it's impossible, it's just much, much harder for them to fucking lock it down like they had it. Especially if people are able to tell the difference now. Like I said, it's very easy for people to tell who's good and who's bad now. And they're pissed off and they're not falling for your bullshit, you know? Is there a way to compete against that? So far, their strategy has just been to cheat and, like, steal and, you know, buy competing censorship or whatever. That, you know, is that really going to work? I mean, I don't know. I expect them to get more aggressive, though. The more they lose, they will be more, you know, like we're seeing. I hate to fucking be Debbie Downer, but like we're seeing in South America, you know, like they seem to have stolen several elections in the past couple months. And the Democrats are like participants for the most part, so I think a lot of them will go along with whatever they do, you know? Yeah. I mean, courting the center doesn't work. It worked in spite of how bad it was up until now because people weren't able, you know, they didn't have an option. Yeah.
Beautiful thing to see. And what's happening is everybody who has fought us tooth and nail from within the party establishment, they're going to now have to bend the knee and pretend to be with us. We literally just saw it with a segment of Cory Booker. Was that CNN or MSNBC? He was on CNN, and he had to, like, you know, dance around the fact. Go ahead.
His face was, first of all, he looked stricken. And then he was like, I just am happy a lot of people voted.
Yeah, voting's good. I like voting. And it's like, okay, and who was it? Caitlin Collins was like, yeah, but isn't Zoran's endorsement like a really powerful thing now? And he's like, you know, I've endorsed people.
Like,
I like endorsing.
I was a mayor too. Remember that?
I was a mayor one time, bro. She's like, that has nothing to do with what I'm asking you. So they're panicking, bro. They're panicking. The establishment Democrats, the centrist Democrats, the diet MAGA Democrats, they're losing it. Because now the people who are winning are in favor of universal health care and free college and ending the wars and standing up to Israel and cutting their funding and abolishing ICE. Yes, abolishing ICE. And so it's a new day, bro.
And remember, Cory Booker made a big deal out of not endorsing Zoran, even after he was
Right.
the Democratic nominee.
Right.
So he specifically is like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
And now, so the last line of cope is, oh,
Yeah,
this is just like New York,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Like, it doesn't even count. It's like New York and stuff, bro.
Yeah, that's what
And
they're going to
then-
keep saying now.
Abdul, tell me about
Tell me-
Graham Plattner.
Well, I was going to say, and then they'll say with Graham Platt, oh, that's just Maine, and Maine is weird, so that, like, doesn't count. So Maine doesn't count, New York doesn't count, Michigan doesn't count with Abdul. What fucking counts? It's almost like you're just coping and seething, and you're refusing to acknowledge the fact that it's our party now. It's Zoran's party now. It's the Democratic Socialists of America party now. And you know what? In its heart, it always fucking has been. Ever since the days of FDR, the actual Democratic voters know social democracy is a good thing. Being anti-war is a good thing. Actually fighting for human rights and equality is a good thing. And you know what? We lost our way there for a while with Bill Clinton and the DLC and the neoliberalification of everything and the Reagan era sort of swamping the Democratic Party too. But guess what? We're motherfucking back, y'all. We are back. Our Tea Party moment is here. It's not going anywhere.
Well.
It's only going to become a bigger and bigger wave. And the right is going to pretend like, oh, thank you for making our lives easier. Now we're going to defeat all of you. Oh, really? Buckle up, bitch. Watch this. You'll have no chance.
Dude,
They're
Kyle's
used
gonna
to
call so many people
apologetic
cucks.
Democrats who agree with them on half the
He's gonna
issues.
say cucks so
right?
much.
Now we're not apologetic, and we don't agree with you on any of the fucking
Cuck
issues
this,
because
cuck
you're wrong
that.
about everything. Okay? You're the party of rape and pedophilia
Yeah, you
and
are.
terrorism.
Exactly.
I don't want to
Yeah,
hear
Kyle.
it. I don't want to hear from the Epstein party that we're extreme. How about you look in the fucking mirror? So it's
Yeah, Kyle,
happening.
get 'em.
It's happening, and we're in for quite a ride ahead because now we're getting real fighters who actually believe in something. So shout out to Zoran out there doing his thing. Shout out to Hassan Piker's on the ground. Was
Shout out
helping
to
out Daria
Grim
Lisa
Job.
and the other candidates. I know Ryan Grimm.
Yeah, we're gonna
What's how
run
your mom
live
calls
from
it?
New
My
York
hard
tomorrow.
kombucha.
So check out Breaking Points, and I'll see you guys as well tomorrow on my show. Good night, man. Good stuff.
They should have Kyle on Breaking Points. That's it.
Back with me is my incredible panel.
Dude, your
Abby
panel
Livingston,
sucks,
Max
bro.
Rose, Mondaire
This is the
Jones,
worst
and
panel you've
Charlotte
ever
Coulter. Zoran Mamdani is at the Vila Shovalier victory party right now. Let's listen for a couple of minutes.
Stuck ass panel.
So please, join me
Allah Akbar.
in welcoming. And I want a fellow member of New York City DSA, an Afro-Latina woman,
Unlimited supply of honey? What are you,
The
raping
first-
bees?
Dominican woman to represent this district, and the next Congresswoman from New York 13,
New York City.
Darisa Vila Shovalier.
All right, we're gonna monitor that speech for you. We'll put it in the corner of the TV for the moment. well, I've got a few minutes left to talk to my panel about this.
Sucky ass
Max
panel.
Rose, you said
Max
something
Rose,
earlier about
what are you gonna say?
how Democrats
Eat
should
shit,
not
Max
think
Rose.
about these things in terms of progressive
Yeah.
versus moderate.
Yeah,
You
you'd
even
like
mentioned
that, wouldn't you?
Whether
You would
some of
love
this is
that,
a Jewish
huh?
thing.
A Jewish thing.
How does this go forward from here? Because right now, tonight in New York City, we have arguments in that district that are between a Dominican Latino community and the black community in
See, this
northern
guy, like I said,
Manhattan.
dude,
We've
he's
got New
sneaky.
York 10, which was a battle between two Jewish guys, but they definitely disagreed. Israel was central to that discussion. There are a lot of fault lines right now. But Dan Goldman did say, I remember this from this night, when he said, our fight is inside the White House, not with each other.
Absolutely.
How does the party move ahead now?
And kudos to Dan Goldman
Dude, you
for
want
saying
that because you have more
for
money.
taking this moment
You know,
to
like
be a
you
real
guys
leader.
are going to.
I think would actually highlight AOC and the way that she has served as a member of Congress for the past few years. She's done so with certainly putting forth bold policies, but at the same time, she has practiced true political empathy. And she has looked at the bigger picture, building alliances.
She gave money to
for
some of
the
you scumbags
long term here,
and lost like a
Ultimately,
huge
people
chunk of
will
her
know how to
support.
win their own individual districts. We have to still believe in that as a party, but we do need North Stars to your point earlier, make sure that folks are still leaning towards not just running against something, but running for something. The only thing I would continue to caution folks around. Right, just think about this. Earlier, I said we can be a party in tough districts that supports Medicare for all, supports abolish ICE, and then someone else says, but what about being a leftist? That, just a couple of years ago, they used to call that
Dude,
radical.
we want
At
no
one point or
genocide.
another, as a
Is
party,
that so much
we
to ask
can
for?
say let's draw the chalk line and unify around things that are bold, but nonetheless we can win on them. That's not something we should be scared of as a party either.
Charlotte, what's your take on that?
I agree with Max, and I also think that part of this is also about the attitudes towards difference and whether these new progressive, new socialist members of Congress feel that they can work productively with fellow members of Congress who may agree with them on some things but not on others. And that's, I think, one place where Mamdani has really set a very powerful example for his fellow Democratic Socialists in his working relationship with Kathy Hochul, where they have many areas of disagreement, and he could have come in and said, I'm fighting Kathy Hochul, the big bad establishment, and he didn't do that. He said, we'll handle that later. Let's find places where we can work together, where our priorities align.
Right.
And so I'm going to be really watching to see whether these new members
I'm
of
gonna be
Congress
watching to see
take
who's
that
subscribing.
attitude. It doesn't require compromising their values, but it does require
Non-subscribers.
reshifting their priorities away from
They'll have a
conflict and
tough
towards
time.
collaboration.
I do want to make the point that Brad Lander is not a member of the DSA.
That's correct.
And he's still,
He was.
He
And
was.
then he stepped away.
But no longer,
Yeah,
right? And,
yeah.
and in fact, it had something to do with the response from the New York City chapter of the DSA to the events of October 7th.
That's right.
So this is not just a story of DSA.
Yeah.
This is a story of the perception of voters in the Democratic primary in those respective districts that the incumbent was inferior in some way, shape, or form, whether it be on a specific policy or multiple policies, or just in terms of the passion that they brought or lack thereof to the fight in this moment, this critical moment in the midnight hour. And that also matters too, right? Voters have to be able to have a choice. I mean, that is the nature of democracy, and I think we need to respect that. I say this as someone who began my congressional career as a primary challenger before my 82-year-old incumbent decided not to seek re-election 3 months into that campaign. And then it became this sort of sprawling Democratic primary up in the old 17th congressional district. And people were looking for a new voice with fresh ideas and a kind of passion, frankly, that hadn't been there for a while.
I think that there are two.
Not a
there's been two
single-
forces
not a
that
single
have
one of
helped
them has said
Democrats stay
Israel this
together in
entire
the Trump
time we've been
era, and
watching.
One is Trump himself.
Not a single
they're all in
time.
the boat together, and they
None-
tolerate each
none of
other's
them have said
differences,
it.
And the other is Nancy Pelosi, and both are fading forces. Next term will be the first term that Democrats have not had Pelosi in the background to enforce discipline. And so I think so much of this will matter on who the Democratic nominee, who none of us know who that's going to be, and does that person have an Obama-like skill set to bring the entire party together, or are there going to be sore our feelings after this Democratic nomination next term.
Yeah, like fucking, what's her
this
name?
issue of
Jasmine
Hakeem
Crockett.
This is not a great night for him, but that's okay because he's still going to have the same number of seats. There's no seat in New York that that Hakeem Jeffries and Dorsey lost that is going to become a Republican seat. So these will still be people, if he becomes a speaker, who are in his area. What does he need to do? He's going to have a tough go. If they don't win 15 or 20 extra seats, it'll be tough to be the leader of any party.
I always hate disagreeing with you because you might not invite me back. But you know,
Right, standing invitation always
thanks,
back.
I appreciate
Don't do that.
it,
He
but
sucks.
This was.
Don't let him
There's
back.
no way, shape, and form. This was a bad night for Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries proved yet again that when you are an incumbent Democrat, he will go to the mat for you.
Right.
And tomorrow morning, the Democratic caucus will remain united in terms of presenting a bold agenda and standing up to Donald Trump and MAGA fascism.
Dude, I want to ram your head into the
Hakeem
wall.
Jeffries
Just
remains
over and over again.
an incredible leader of this caucus at a time when it needs exactly that. There's not one elected member of Congress right now that tomorrow will look at him as anything but a very strong leader.
You know, I think it's an excellent example of someone who won a primary challenge and went on to just be a very sophisticated actor, a teammate to the rest of the House Democratic Caucus. AOC. I mean, she is all in on making sure that we take back the House.
Dude.
And so if other newer members of the New York congressional delegation just follow that example, I think we will be in a great place and we will have a Speaker Hakeem Jeffries in January.
And are you satisfied that
Midnight pasta?
that issue will go away? Because there are a lot of these new candidates who say they are not sure that they will support Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker. Is this not a really relevant conversation right now?
They'll learn real quick.
We fucking, dude.
You know,
I hope they make
when it comes to
AIPAC an
committee
issue, man.
assignments and all the
Fuck
other
you,
ways
not
that
voting
people
for
can exert
AIPAC.
power.
Dude.
You know,
There you go.
there is a strategy
Easy peasy.
to withholding that support until it becomes untenable. And so it's just about sort of effectively navigating that, having those conversations, developing a relationship. I think it's perfectly fine for somebody on the night of their primary victory to say, let me see who's even going to be up.
Yeah.
Now, we know that person is going to be Hakeem Jeffries. Right. And he's going to be the next Speaker of the House. And so if they don't know that now, they'll learn that.
You are all wonderful. Thank you for being here tonight. These are tough things to unpack, and I couldn't have asked for a better team to do it.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Today is primary day here in New York, as well as in Maryland and Utah, with a runoff in South Carolina. In several of the races, it's a battle between different wings of the Democratic Party amidst the rise of one group in particular. DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. In New York City, the DSA has a packed slate of 10 candidates across congressional, state assembly, and Senate races. In the 13th congressional district, the DSA is backing organizer Darisa Vila Shovalier against incumbent Adriano Espaillat. And in the 7th district race for outgoing Congressmember Nydia Velázquez's seat, the DSA is backing union organizer Claire Valdez.
Welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Melanie Zanoni in Washington, and if it's Tuesday, voters are voting in primaries in 4